Hello and a very warm welcome back to the garden, and it is indeed going to be a warm one today. Temperatures up to 25 degrees Celsius, nice summer weather. And this video is going to be a slightly different one, but it's one that I think will be quite fun. And that's 7 reasons why I think everyone should have at least a spare raised bed in their garden. Now, if you don't have space for lots of raised beds, then just a little area, perhaps even if it's on your patio garden. And I know we all like to follow different gardening plans, for example, and fill up our space with those ideas. But I think there's a lot of benefit to just leaving a bit of space untouched in that plan. So I'm going to give you 7 reasons why you want to do that. The first reason why you should have some spare space in your garden, such as a spare raised bed, is to give away some food for free, because sometimes the best thing you can do is give fresh food to someone else who can't grow their own, just so they can enjoy it. And there's a great project and hashtag that you can follow called Food is Free, hashtag Food is Free. So what I'm doing is I've got loads of peas growing. These are going to be peas that I'll be giving away, but also courgettes are easy to grow. There are a lot of things that you can do with courgettes. My favourite is kind of to roast them lightly with olive oil and garlic, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be growing some courgettes. I'm going to be planting a plant here, and then whatever fruit comes off, I'll be giving it away. So it's pretty dry soil here, but the first thing I'm going to do is dig kind of a deep layer like this, so I can bury the carton to use as the watering device that you might have seen in my 17 free gardening hacks part 2 video. So just gonna put that there. I think doesn't matter if it sticks out a little, and cover it back around, and you can see that the soil is nice and full of organic matter, so I'm not worried about adding extra compost. And so I'm just going to make a bit of a hole here, and then I'm going to select courgette plant. We've got loads of courgettes this year, which is exciting, and this isn't going to be the only one that I'm going to be giving away for free. Then you want to put it quite close to the carton. It doesn't matter that it goes in slightly. Then cover back around like that and press it down nicely. And just to start off, I'm just going to give it a bit of a water like that, and then I'm going to use this carton with a screw to water it whenever it needs. The second reason is perhaps going to be the most commonly used, and that is to have a space where you can put all of those spare plants. So I've got a little too many climbing beans, and so I thought in this kind of spare raised bed I could just put in yet another wigwam. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. But there's other things that I'm putting in which is spare. I've got a couple of Swiss chard put in here, and I've also got a few ochre. I've got 4 tubers just beginning to come through. So just having a place to put anything that's kind of excessive or spare is very useful, because it means that you don't have to stress or worry as much trying to fit everything in. The third reason is perhaps the most thought-provoking one, and that's by creating a mini allotment. So what do I mean by this? Well, there's a lot of people who really want to grow their own food, but they don't have any space or land to grow any. So why don't you consider giving away a raised bed? And this is more going to be suitable if you just have a medium to a large size garden. Why don't you give away a bed to a friend or a neighbour who really wants to grow their own food, but they can't? This is one of the most rewarding things that a gardener can do, just sharing a little bit of land and also a bit of your knowledge, and the returns that you get on that is going to be huge. and the person is going to be so grateful. So if I had a choice out of the 7 that I'm going to give you, I promise you the third one will definitely be my priority. The fourth reason why you want a spare raised bed is to have that space for propagation. And for example, here you can see I've got some rosemary that have grown from cuttings last year. And if you want to earn just a little bit of perhaps extra cash, or grow crops and plants that you can give away to others, then if you have a spare raised bed, you can create a mini plant nursery in a way where you can propagate and grow a lot of plants to either give away, very similar to the food is free, but giving away things that are going to give people food instead, or a way of earning a little bit of extra cash where you could do an honesty box or a pay what you feel, where you sell some tomato plants or brassicas or easy things to propagate like herbs. The fifth reason to have a spare raised bed or growing area is actually linked very much with propagation, and it's to save seed, to grow crops that you can save seed from, so this doesn't impact the rest of your garden. And so what I'm doing in this bed is I'm growing this black down blue pea. I was given just a few seeds, so I'm going to grow all of these and save as much seed as possible. And based on previous seed saving, where I saved over pea seeds, I saved over 700 seeds from just 20 peas. Hopefully I'll be able to get loads of peas saved there. And the great thing about peas and other things that you can save seed from is once you have this saved seed, it's a great bartering resource. So if you want to go and swap plant swaps, you've got something that you can use. And it's also a wonderful skill to learn and improve, and having a dedicated space for that is really going to help. The sixth reason to have a bit of space is to dedicate some area to grow for beneficial insects. And this usually means flowers, and I've just picked up this nasturtium that has grown elsewhere that I didn't want, but I'm going to put it in this spare raised bed because having all of the colour from nasturtium flowers is a great way just to attract pollinators, but it also looks pretty as well. Now, nasturtiums don't transplant that well, so I've tried to capture as much of the soil around the roots as possible, and it'll wilt down, but it'll look fine again in a couple of days. So I'm just going to put this here. But if you can have an area where you can just grow different kind of flowers every year and just have fun growing different things, like I'm kind of doing behind me, this is a bed dedicated just for flowers. I've got cosmos, cornflower, nasturtiums, and I'm looking forward for this to be in full flower and to see hopefully all of the bees on it. The seventh reason why you may want a spare raised bed or growing space in your garden is because it provides a safe place for you to learn and to experiment growing things, because it gives you a chance to take risks or try completely new things. A risk for us is growing cucumbers and also tomatoes outdoors. This is a Market More cucumber, but I'm going to try and fit it in this bed because I know whatever happens, it's not going to have a knock-on negative impact on the rest of the garden. And there's also been a tomato that is self-sown, and I'm just going to let it grow. I'll probably cut it off at around 4 or 5 trusses and just see what happens. And it's a great chance to also test out new varieties. So perhaps you love one particular variety but you're keen to test something out, then there's a chance for you to do that before you then move it into the main garden as a regular feature. I really enjoy the aspect of experimenting in the garden and learning from that, and I think it's one of the best ways to ensure long-term productivity of your garden, because you're building such a bank of valuable knowledge. And I go into this side of experimenting and learning in more detail in my online course More Food, Less Effort, which also teaches about you, the gardener, and how you can become more productive by better managing your time and effort. And if you're more productive, then ultimately so is your garden going to be. And if this sounds like something that interests you, then check out the course at morefoodlesseffort.com. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you found these 7 reasons interesting, and I'd love to find out what your favourite reason is, or perhaps you have one of your own. And if you haven't already, perhaps you'd like to check out the garden tour video that I did just the other day, so you can see what's happening at the moment in the garden.